One day, the Eight Immortals returned from paying respects to the Queen Mother of the West. Riding on clouds and driving through mist, they passed over the East Sea, witnessing the tumultuous waves and towering whitecaps below, creating a spectacular scene. Inspired by the sight, the Eight Immortals decided to have some fun on the sea. Lu Dongbin suggested, "Let's each throw our magical treasures into the sea and use them to cross the ocean. We can see who possesses the greatest magical powers. What do you think?" Iron Crutch Lee was the first to welcome this idea enthusiastically. He declared, "Great idea! Let's see mine first." He tossed his crutch into the sea and it floated like a small boat on the water. Iron Crutch Lee then somersaulted and stood on the crutch. Following suit, Han Zhongli threw his plantain fan onto the sea and stood on it, while the other immortals showcased their unique abilities. Zhang Guolao rode on a donkey, Lu Dongbin stepped on a dual-use sword, Han Shangzi sat on a xiao, a vertical bamboo flute. He Shanggu rode on a flower basket, Lan Kaihe stood on castanets, and Cao Guoju stepped on jade tablets. All of them floated on the turbulent waves, experiencing a different kind of thrill and enjoyment compared to riding on clouds and mist. Suddenly, Cao Guoju pointed to the right and exclaimed, "Look, everyone, there's a mirage over there." Turning their heads, they saw a fairy mountain gradually rising from the sea. The mountain had trees, buildings, and after a while, it ascended into the sky, turning into floating clouds on the horizon. In the blink of an eye, the clouds were dispersed by the wind. Han Xiangzi said, "We are truly fortunate. Mirage is the result of the dragon's breath rising from the sea, a rare sight in a century." Suddenly, Lan Kaihe disappeared from among them. They searched it and called out, but there was no trace of Lan Kaihe. Zhang Guolao speculated, "Perhaps the Dragon King of the East Sea is causing trouble. He doesn't welcome us showcasing our magical powers on his sea. He must have taken Lan Kaihe to the Dragon Palace. Let's go and demand Lan Kaihe's release." They arrived at the Dragon Palace and politely asked the Dragon King to release Lan Kaihe. However, the Dragon King was unyielding and even sent his sons, accompanied by shrimp soldiers and crab generals, to chase after the Eight Immortals. Forced to defend themselves, the Eight Immortals used their magical treasures as weapons, engaging in a fierce battle. After a heated fight, 2 of the Dragon King's sons were killed. Enraged by the death of his sons, the Dragon King sought help from the South Sea, West Sea, and North Sea Dragon Kings. The conflict escalated, and a fierce war ensued. In response, Iron Crutch Lee used his gourd to absorb all the seawater, turning the East Sea into a vast desert. The other immortals moved Mount Tai to the East Sea, creating a massive wall of mountains. The battle plunged the world into darkness, catching the attention of the Jade Emperor, Buddha, and Guanyin. They intervened to mediate the conflict. As a resolution, Lan Kaihe presented 2 jade tablets to the East Sea Dragon King as compensation, and Mount Tai was returned to its original place by Guanyin. Due to this dispute, the Eight Immortals were demoted by the Jade Emperor. From then on, they refrained from causing trouble and commotion outside.